Is this why I had to come down here this morning, man? Is this why I had to miss my fucking cartoons? You call me, you tell me it's important, you know? What, to share in your half-assed obsession with Hallmark moments? We're going home.
Alright folks, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Rewind. I'm your host Travis, joined once again by my good friend Xavier.
Hola.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one.
I really think it will be. I can feel it in my bones.
I think so. If we don't do a good job this time, something's wrong with us.
Well, way to open up with that. Now we have to live up to that. Okay.
Oh, I don't think we'll have any shit.
No, you're right. Like I said, I have a good feeling. Dang, I have such a low self-esteem that one little offhand comment just brought me down.
Yeah, well, what can you do? But,
therapy.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Trust me. All right, okay. So we're actually this is going to be a first for us at Pop Culture Rewind. We're actually going to do a top 10 list.
Yeah, or something resembling one.
Yes.
Can we just really quick just describe how? Literally 60 seconds ago, we were debating on how to structure this episode. So if it's a little rough, bear with us.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and mention what the topic is.
Oh,
the top 10.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that'll help. Yes. All right. So we are doing our top 10 lists for the best 90s cartoons.
Yes.
Okay. Look, both of us we grew up in the 80s. We were teenagers in the 90s.
Yeah.
So there was we were just given all these wonderful things in the 80s and the 90s.
We were lucky.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time.
Yeah, it's lucky generation we are.
To own a television.
Yeah. We might go back later on and do some other things like this, maybe 80s. But right now, we're going to do 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
And for me...
Something everybody can appreciate, yeah. Because even if you're a little bit older or younger than us, you probably watch cartoons in the 90s.
Right.
Or, you know.
And especially now, even if you're younger, I mean, with Netflix and all this other stuff.
A lot of this stuff is available, and I think I would say almost everything on this list is worth going back to check out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Totally.
And what we're going to do is, because we just wanted to kind of have fun with this, kind of go back and forth with what my top 10 list was compared to your top 10.
Yes, I have not seen your top 10 list.
I have not seen yours either.
You sure?
Yes, I did not.
When I went to go to the bathroom a minute ago, it looked like my pad had been moved.
Anal retention son of a bitch. No, nothing has changed. I do not know what's on your list. You, for all I know, don't know what's on my list.
I do not.
And so we have a top 10 list of our
own. I'm the anal retention ambassador, apparently. Why would I? Anyways.
Yeah, anyway. And we also have, because this was really hard for us to actually narrow it down to 10, we have some honorable mentions that we're going to mention at the end of this.
Yeah. So. Even though we've been talking about this top 10 list for weeks now, I came up with 10 cartoons, but I didn't order them until about like 10 minutes ago when I realized we were about to record this. I was like, crap, so I had to write down a 10. I had to make a lot. It was like, killing your children. Which one is better than which one?
Like which one you love the most? Yeah. It's funny because when we first came up with this, I jotted down my top 10 like really fast, and then I put them in order really fast, and that was the last I looked at it. Up until about 30 minutes ago,
I was sitting here like I'm ready to go, or you're still sitting there like staring at your paper.
Now that I actually had time to look at it and devour the list.
You had that Sophie's Choice expression on your face looking at your list, and I'm like, come on.
As silly as the topic is, I mean, it's a hard choice.
It's not silly. I don't think it's man. These shaped who we are as men today. For better or worse.
For better or worse, yes.
Yeah.
But the '90s was such a wonderful time for Saturday morning cartoons. Back when we had Saturday morning cartoons, and even during the week, like either before school or after school.
After school cartoons.
That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm. More than a few of these were watched after school. In fact. There's only a couple of. I'm gonna look at my list now that were actual Saturday morning cartoons. Now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah.
There's even there's a primetime cartoons. Apparently, when you made your list, you excluded that just genre in general.
Yeah, I didn't want to do what I'm calling is primetime cartoons, and it's more or less aimed for, I don't want to say general audiences, but maybe like adults, things like that, like Simpsons, Futurama.
The Simpsons came out in '89, so
there you go.
That squeaked by.
Futurama.
Now Futurama, I thought of immediately. That won't make it because the series starts in 2000, the year 2000.
Okay.
Fry chronologically, but it did air in March of '99. But that's not really a '90s cartoon because.
It can't
because it lasted. It only got canceled last year.
Yeah,
all of the contemporary humor
for the second time.
was making fun of the 2000s and iPhones and things like that. None of that's 90s.
So even though it's a technicality, so
Futurama, while arguably one of the best cartoons of all time, I did not put it on this list in case anybody is wondering why we omitted it.
Yeah. So I think let's just kind of jump into this.
Because we got a lot to get through. Now, there's going to be some overlap, I'm sure.
Yes.
Between you and me, I guarantee we're going to have... the only thing that might change is the order. Our number one,
I mean,
our number three.
We watched some of these together when we were kids.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just work our way down. If we happen to overlap, I'll say, oh, your number 9 is my number 8, blah, blah, blah. We're kind of winging this format. Obviously, this is the first time we're trying this, so bear with us.
And remember, I said it before, I said it again, we just redid these lists not too long ago.
Yeah. Thank God these are not written in blood.
Yeah.
In the middle of the episode, I might start if you hear scratching noises, that's me changing some of my answers.
All right.
But I wrote it down, so I'm forced to stick with this. Okay. So, right off the top bat, where did you put at number 10?
Number 10.
Number 10. Kick it off the charts at number 10.
If this was 80, should that be really good?
Oh, yeah.
My number 10 pick, The Tick.
Oh, that was my number 9. Yeah. See, right off the bat. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
The Tick.
Yeah, I ran from 94 to 97 on Fox.
Yeah, I thought this came out earlier. I was surprised to learn I was as old as I was when it came out. I thought I was a lot younger.
Yeah, and I believe that was syndication during the week, right? After school? Or then, no, that was actually Saturday mornings.
I think it was, yeah.
That was Saturday mornings thing. But, man, the right from the get-go, I mean, just the crazy, I don't know, scat theme song.
Yeah, it was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It was, you could tell that there was another layer of humor going on.
Yeah.
Like something aimed above your head. You didn't get it, but you could tell it was flying over your head. You were aware of it. Is the best way I could describe it.
You knew they're having fun with you, but you don't know why.
Yeah, that's the best way I could describe watching this show when it aired.
Yeah.
And if you did kind of get it, you kind of felt cooler that you got it, I guess.
And plus, The Tick by itself is just a superhero kind of poking fun at the superhero world.
Yeah, like it kind of has like a Mystery Men vibe to it.
Sorta, yeah.
Is the best way I can describe a world where there's a lot of superheroes to it.
The city he protects is the city.
The city, yeah. And there's like a lot of crazy superheroes. One of the things I love about The Tick is the voice work in it. Okay, right off the bat, the 3 main characters. The Tick is voiced by Townsend Coleman, a.k.a. Michelangelo of Ninja Turtles.
Ah, okay.
Arthur, his sidekick, is voiced by Rob Paulson.
Ooh,
a.k.a.
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Rob Paulson, a.k.a. Raphael. And then Deflator Mouse was voiced by Cam Clark, a.k.a. Leonardo. So you got the 3 of the Ninja Turtles doing pretty much the 3 main characters of The Tick. I mean, come on, how can you not
get by default gets into a top 10 list.
Yeah, how can you not get excited about that when you're a kid?
Well, as a kid, I don't think you really pay attention to that kind of stuff, but...
True enough, I was not aware of that. I think, you know what? Subconsciously, I knew there was like a kindred spirit thing with this show going on with me. Now, when was the last time you saw any Ticks?
Man, it actually, honestly, has been probably a few years. I do have season 1 on DVD. So for any time I want to watch it, I can just pop it in.
If you want to watch any of them, YouTube. They're all on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, for preparing for this episode, I meant to go back and watch a lot more. I only managed to watch the pilot episode. But that was hilarious. I was laughing my ass off at it. And I think I kind of got like, yes, I remember now the vibe that I was getting as a kid. I think it holds up.
And one thing, it does hold up for sure. One thing that I did enjoy about it is the small little nuances and aspects of it, like things that's happened in one episode carried over to another episode. The moon. They carved. He started.
Wasn't like
Chairface
Chippendale was the guy's name.
His
head
was a chair.
His head was a chair.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some of the villains.
But there was an episode where he wanted to carve his name to the moon.
That's right. I remember
and
that.
He got like CHAI, and then like the tick stopped at whatever. But all future episodes still had the
I remember that. But it's funny. I remember Chairface Chippendale. Yeah. As clear as anything else. I haven't watched an episode with that guy in 20 years, but I'm never gonna forget Chairface Chippendale as one of the villains.
Okay, and then there's the
Pineapple Pokopos Pokoponesia. I think that's a thing. I don't know why. That's been rattling my brain for 20 years. I think it's a thing. I just pulled it out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh. The battle cry.
Spoon! I don't remember the context of that either. I just remember that being his battle cry.
He just needed a catchphrase. And there was one episode where they were doing. It was a whole episode about sidekicks. Like Arthur had to, Tick had to go to they have like a bar for superheroes, but the sidekicks weren't allowed, so they had to go into like the little side shack next to it. So it was all the sidekicks hanging out all together. So I don't know, things like that.
Yeah, it was poking fun of the whole genre in general. That's why I said it kind of had a meta thing going on because
did you that kind of carried over to the live action show? Did you ever catch the live action show?
With Patrick Warburton. Yeah. And I think I saw the first one, and I remember finding it amusing. But I think at the time I was working or something. Something just didn't lend itself to me being able to follow it, and it didn't last very long. If I remember,
it was on Fox and it got canceled. Go figure.
Oh, really?
Well, no, they canceled it before the last episode, so I had to wait. I actually got. It's on DVD now. You can buy it on DVD, but that's where you can find the last episode.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no. Crackle. Do you know the
online service? Yeah.
They actually have it, and that's
watched a lot of stuff.
That's where I finally watched the final episode of that one. Was on Crackle.
Is it worth giving it a go?
Yeah, you really have to be a fan of the show to appreciate it.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, if you were just watching, like, what is this? You're probably not getting. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say about the show is the Tick is created by Ben Edlund, who actually
it was a comic.
Yeah, and he actually went on to do several things. One of which is another show that I like is Supernatural. He's like a big.
Yeah.
He's a big.
I've seen his name on there.
Yes, he's still part of the show actually. Supervising editor or something
like that.
Yeah.
I've seen his name.
Creative consultant. That is one of the things he is.
Oh, I didn't realize
that. He does that show, and he does several other different shows that's still going on the air. So, just the credits of that guy, starting off in Tick and then going on to the other shows.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Well, I would like to visit the live action show, but not until I revisit the cartoon first, which, like I said earlier, it's on YouTube for free. Check it out. It's free.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, okay. Well, that was your number 10. It was my number 9.
Okay.
Okay, my number 10 needs a little bit of explanation.
Oh, no.
No, I added it because I knew it belonged somewhere in the top 10. But personally, I don't know. I got a few issues with this. Or you know what it is? I don't think a cartoon where I have this many issues with deserves to be in a top 10. But I think the parts of it I loved were so good, it belongs in it. And plus, it's just too important to our generation. And that is X-Men.
Wow. Okay.
Why wow? That it's at number 10 and that it barely made the cut?
Because that's like way up on my
list. Now, X-Men started... I guess it started... When was the last time you went back and watched these cartoons? Honestly. They used to be on Netflix.
It was on Netflix, and I'll flip on an episode or two just randomly. What episodes I wanted to... I remember seeing.
I gave it a proper binge like 5 years ago. And that kind of like, wow, maybe it was just especially towards the latter half, the animation got really bad.
Yeah,
the animation got like they were all like rubber limbed.
Yeah,
it got flimsy looking, and that was a big. That's what I'm saying. It almost
because
like
the quality aspects went down.
It dropped off so far, and it ended on such a downer. That's why I'm saying, whereas most of these other cartoons were pretty consistently good. Even though some of the ones on my list only ran for maybe a season or two.
Yeah.
But the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was an X-Men cartoon.
Right, yeah.
So I think that's why we all hold it dear. It was an X-Men cartoon. It was portraying the X-Men of the books of when I was actually big into comics. The Jim Lee, that X-Men series that he started. It felt like it was that. And we should mention that this is probably the best the Dark Phoenix saga. They have handled that better than any other cartoon or movie has ever handled. They handled that.
Well, they tried.
Well.
I mean, they did the best effort to actually pull it from the comics onto.
They did to the point that it even got boring. The part where she lost her memory and she's hanging out with the Hellfire Club and all that. Like those couple episodes, I was a little bored. I'm like, get to the space Shi'ar Empire part.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but they were doing it proper justice. You know what I mean?
And that was like there were 5-parter episodes.
Yeah,
both of them.
And it was a big saga, so they were doing a good job. And they tackled some of the the alienation, mutants being hunted, the prejudice, all the stuff that makes the X-Men comic great. That it dealt with those adult themes. The cartoon they took on those topics.
They did the best they could for a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, the alienation that mutants felt just for being born different, which is mutant in X-Men mythology has always been a metaphor for prejudice and racism and things like that. So they handled that good, and they got a lot of things right. They introduced us the mainstream to characters like Gambit and things like that. If not for that cartoon, nobody would give a shit who Gambit is.
Yeah, and that is the show that actually got me into the comics. It came out right around the same time, and
see, I was like a little kid feeling superior that I was reading X-Men books, and I was like, "That's not how this happened." Even as a little kid, I was being the snotty critic saying, "No, that's not."
Yeah,
right.
That's not just for the show, kids.
Yeah,
that's how he actually was.
I'm actually like that. But I think the best thing that X-Men did, Rogue.
Sugar.
Rogue. Oh God, who was not in love with Rogue in those cartoons? Oh, damn. I think Rogue.
Okay, we just lost Xavier. People.
Yeah, that right. She's the one who made me include it in the list.
Oh, okay.
But no, I mean they got a lot of cool stuff. There's
a lot of
fun world they created
for its time. That was the most fan service you got out of a Marvel comic production.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah, you're right. And some cartoons came on after that I didn't like as much. That I didn't put on 90s Spider-Man. I didn't like that as much as this. Yeah. I didn't put it on this list. Things like that. There was even Fantastic Four cartoons. They weren't very good either. That was probably the best.
Because all those tried to
the best Marvel cartoon of the 90s, probably.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, and like I said, they got a lot right. Because a lot of the other ones on my list don't have as many flaws as X-Men does. That's why I bumped it.
That's fair enough because
and honestly, I wanted a little bit of a difference in our list. I just want to shake things up a bit.
Okay,
so that's why I opened it. That's why I opened with a controversial choice, just to get things going off on a quick.
All right. So that was your number 10, right?
That was my number 10.
All right. So
you're number 9.
All right, number 9.
We need like a drum roll sound effect,
right?
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy.
Okay. All right. I did not include that one at all. I kind of forgot all about that one.
Yeah. It ran from 91 to 96. So it ran for a while.
What network did it air on originally?
Okay.
Because I remember it airing on, I think, MTV. Didn't they syndicate it?
Yeah, it was on Nickelodeon too. But I think it was MTV first.
Oh, okay.
We can fact check that if you want.
Ren and Stimpy was a cartoon that I think I wanted to like. But it was hard to. I don't know what it was. I recognized that there was something different and something smart going on there. But did it?
There was a different. Yeah, it was a different type of humor. More adult, more. I don't want to say vulgar to it. Well, raunchier at some points, but definitely more mature than what you would get.
There was subtle maturity things going on that went over our heads, probably.
Yeah, man. There's just the craziness and the manic nature of Ren.
Which one was Ren? Ren was a Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua, yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. It's been a long time since I've seen these things, and like I said, I was never super into them.
Yeah, and plus he had Billy West as Stimpy.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Wait, okay, so he was a cat.
Yeah,
I'm really not a huge.
Yeah, because matter of fact, one of the
Stimpy. Okay, you're right. Okay,
one of the running gags was every time Stimpy would get, there was a litter box, and he would say, "My first material possession was the litter box." See, things like that was.
I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it did premiere on Nickelodeon, and
there you go. And then MTV pulled it once
they
found they had some kind of hit with the older audiences there. But man, some of the
all I remember about Ren and Stimpy is it's log. It's log. Yeah. Everyone knows it's log. Everyone wants a log. I think by happenstance, I happened to catch that like 4 times.
Plus between MTV would replay them a lot too. So if you missed it, you're gonna catch it again at some point.
That's probably what happened.
Also, I remember besides Log, there was Electric Fence. You don't remember that one? That was it was a board game. It was a game. You had to pee on electric fence.
I don't. Oh God, I regret missing that. No, I mean, was there a plot to the show?
Nah, it was just no. It was just like one-off episodes. You didn't. It was nothing, no particular order or anything. Happy Joy Joy.
Happy Joy Joy. Okay, that rings some bells with me.
Yeah. So Grin had the crazy helmet on, and he was being brainwashed, things like that, to be happy because he was always crazy and psycho and mad all the time because of Stimpy.
I just remember there being like a manic energy to that show.
Yeah, just crazy.
That I don't want to say maybe I did at the time. I found it off-putting because I don't know. It was just crazy. It was a crazy energy that I recognized at the time, even if it didn't appeal to me at the time.
Yeah, and then the creator of the show, he had that weird, I don't want to say Tex Avery style, but he had a certain style to his animation that he would do. And it's once you see it, you know it's
John Kricfalusi.
Yeah,
Kricfalusi.
That's it. Because I can never pronounce it either.
I can't read or write. I'm sorry. Thank you. Now my secret's out. I never learned how to read or write.
And only took 5 episodes.
5?
Whatever. I don't know. I can't count. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. You've heard it. He can't count and I can't read. We're the perfect. That's why we have a podcast, because we can talk.
There you go. Sometimes I can barely do that either.
Yeah. Okay. Ren and Stimpy. God, I didn't even think of that one. But yeah, I should have. If I was creating one that I knew people loved off time, everybody I knew loved that one.
Now, one thing, I think this was after the 90s, but they did bring it back when Spike, the channel, was a new thing. They were really catering to the male audience, and they brought back Ren and Stimpy as more of an adult cartoon. And to me, they took the humor way out left field. Just not to the point where it wasn't even funny. It was more or less like shock humor. Yeah. Like he was trying to be Family Guy before Family Guy.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon, 2003 on Spike. Yeah, I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
I don't think I had cable at the time. I think I was.
Yeah, I watched like 1 or 2 episodes. There's even a joke about them being the pitcher and the catcher type thing.
Really?
Yeah. So
they were pandering, I guess. To yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my number 9. So
okay, here's my. Well, that wasn't on my list. Here's my number. Okay, my number 9 was the Tick. So my number 8.
Oh, okay. You're gonna go down to.
Well, we already talked about the Tick.
Yeah.
So we're gonna scoot down. I'm gonna jump ahead of you to my number 8.
Okay.
My number 8 is the terror that flaps in the night. Oh. My number 8 is the screeching fingernail on the chalkboard of justice. My number 8 is Darkwing Duck. Okay, I loved this cartoon.
You do love that. Yeah.
I do love this cartoon. It was one of the last, I don't want to say kid cartoons, but I think I was getting a little old. Like I was trying to put away kid cartoons and trying to adopt like X-Men.
Because X-Men just came out, right?
More adult cartoons. But I was really clinging to this one. I didn't want to let this one go. This is
actually a good one, yeah.
In my opinion, like the last kid cartoon I really liked. And this was a clever cartoon. It does what a lot of good cartoons do. It plays to both adults and kids simultaneously without making it obvious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intelligence. There was an episode of Darkwing Duck, one of my favorite episodes, called Twin Beaks, where the whole thing was a metaphor for Twin Peaks,
right,
which is really popular. Which no kids were watching Twin Peaks at the time.
Right.
This was for the parents who got stuck watching it. But man, were they throwing in a lot of references to that show. There was even cows who were from the planet Larson, which is a reference to Gary Larson. Far Side cartoons were also sort of playing a lot of different levels there. But this was a spin-off, I guess you could say a spin-off of DuckTales from the Disney Afternoon. I love most of the Disney Afternoon cartoons. Rescue Rangers and Tailspin and DuckTales.
I was expecting all these on your list, actually.
No, actually, this is that's the only one. I kind of thought this was the best of them. I'm just going to mention my favorite one of all those.
Okay.
So I kind of lumped all those together. But I love DuckTales. I love Chip and Dale's. All those cartoons are great. But I thought if I say I love one, I love Darkwing for the same reason. Mm-hmm. So I kind of lumped it together. This is kind of a blanket Disney afternoon, I guess. That's what it's called. It's called the Disney afternoon in a way.
Right.
But Darkwing was meta. It was funny. Like I said, it played on that adult level too. And plus, it was a superhero. It was a superhero cartoon. He had super villains and things like that. He was kind of like a Batman kind of a hero.
Right.
But at the same time, he there was like a James Bond element to it. He was also part of a secret spy organization called Shush. I forget what that stood for, but their enemy was called Fowl because they're all ducks and chickens. It was a fiendish organization for world larceny. I remember that one. He had like a Justice League. They were called Justice Ducks. He had
Us Ducks.
Justice Ducks. But it was, in fact, I think it was a planned spinoff, but they never happened. But Gizmo Duck from DuckTales was part of it.
Yeah, I do remember there was a crossover between those characters.
He had a whole rogues gallery of great villains.
I remember Negaduck.
Negaduck. You mean the sour ball in the candy jar of goodness. He was just the opposite. Darkwing was Negaduck. Yeah, Megavolt and Crackerjack and Liquidator and Bushroot.
Was it Megavolt?
Megavolt was like the electricity guy.
Yeah. I remember one thing, and I still quote this to this day, and I don't... Darkwing, I never really followed it for the whole time, but I remember I watched some episodes, and this one line, he said it once, I think. He said, "Ingrate, you're no son of mine." And I say that all the time. I don't know.
Who said this? Darkwing did?
No, Megavolt.
Oh. Yes, that was when he created Negaduck.
Yeah.
I remember that episode. Yeah, because he was... Yeah, he created Negaduck. Yeah, that's funny. You're no son of mine. That's funny. Yeah, I remember that. I was going to say Darkwing never said it, because Darkwing had an adopted daughter, Gosling, who was your typical, she's got a lot of spunky spirit, great character. I love Darkwing Duck. I think they're still funny to watch today, too.
Is there anywhere to find them? I mean... I know they just released them on DVD.
They have been released on DVD. I downloaded...
and not that we condone any of it.
Downloaded from the video store with money.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, because you can do it on Amazon, right? You can pay to download.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You can rent them. Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yes.
But yeah, I love Darkwing Duck. Like I said, it's one of the last... And I feel it's doing an injustice Ducks to label it a kid cartoon. But from my young point of view, it was a kid cartoon, and it was one of the last ones that I kind of had trouble letting go of. After that, I tried to stick to... after that, Disney Afternoon started doing like Bonkers and Goof Troop and things like that, and I was like, those are kids, and I'm too old to be dealing with that shit. But Darkwing, it was too good to let go. But although it did air from 91 to 95 and 91 episodes, it had a good run.
4 years, wow.
Yeah. So so I think I was still kind of young. It caught me at that transitional phase of my life, I guess is what it is.
Well, because it came out in 91, we were 11.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I was still young, and then as I started getting older, but like I said, I didn't want to let it go because it was just too damn good. So, all right, so that's my number 8. Tear the Flaps in the Night.
There you go. All right.
So your number 8 is next.
Yeah. All right, number 8. Batman Beyond.
Batman. When did that come out?
That actually came out. It's tail end of the 90s, 1999.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of...
Yeah.
It ended in 2001, but...
okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So... We're talking about Futurama earlier.
Whereas Futurama spilled over entirely into the 2000 and 2010.
This is more of the turn of the century. Yeah.
You're right.
But the fact that it was a damn good cartoon. The fact that it was an original idea for the animated series itself, which could have just totally bombed. The idea of someone else being Batman. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you're right.
But man, they knocked it out of the park on that one. The theme music.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Just the character Terry McGinnis taking over the mantle of an older, elderly Bruce Wayne.
It was a great idea that it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. It played. It worked. It just
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it worked. Even somebody who I think held Batman precious. And was like, who are you, WB, or who are you, Bruce Timm, or whatever, to presume to say the future? But who cared? It was a good story.
Yeah.
It was a good idea. Let it play.
and just they did try to, kind of, I don't want to say have fun or kind of copy the villains from.
There was some who had like, ink. Well, she's just Clayface.
Yeah, right. The Joker gang,
the Jokers. Yeah. I did like how they were always nodding to the original. But they even went as far as to include like Mr. Freeze.
Oh, you beat me to it. Yeah, sorry.
Things like that, that were nods to the original. It's funny how at the time when it aired, I was really interested in it, but I guess I didn't even have a TV. Something was weird. I didn't have it. So a friend of mine, she videotaped like the first 6 episodes. So I binge watched like the first 6 episodes. Back before binging was like a really big thing in the late 90s. I actually sat with a VHS and watched like the first 6. And so I got hooked like I'm fucking Marlon. Really quick into this show because I did the proper binge. But the music was great. It was just cool looking.
It was, and like I mentioned earlier, it was a time of the turn of the century, and it had a big techno feel to it, and like, from the music, obviously they're always at a dance club or a nightclub, discotheque.
Technology was like a big part of like every villain. There was something, be it biological or just technology or something that always had
the gene splicing,
the splicers,
the splicers, and just again go to the callbacks of how can they incorporate how the villains have changed. Some of the original ones have come back, things like that. To the point where they actually got a movie made.
The Return of the Joker.
Right.
Great movie. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
The Return of the Joker. How did you feel how they portrayed Bruce as an old man?
I think the only reason it worked is because of one man, Kevin Conroy. If it was not for him, I don't think that it would have had a nice transition from the current Bruce Wayne to that Bruce Wayne.
It was a link. It was a definite, like a carrying the torch.
Yeah.
If Kevin Conroy is endorsing this show, I should give it a chance.
Yeah, exactly. And because of that continuity of the voice acting on that.
What'd you think of the Batman Beyond's new look?
I like it.
Really? Ears were too long and I missed the cape. But it was a really good show. But no, Batman Beyond was a really good show. I remember the music. I'm hearing it in my head. The or is that something else? Like X-Men.
You mix the two musics together. It's crazy.
Damn it.
I never heard something like that before. Oh, that's crazy.
But it's very techno. I'm terrible. No wonder I was never a good beatboxer. I'm a shitty beatboxer. Apparently, that's another thing we learned. I can't read. Can't.
Hey,
beatbox.
We just established it earlier. All we can do is talk. So
exactly right.
All right. So that was my number 8.
Okay. All right. My number 7. I don't think it's gonna be on your list because I think you said you excluded these. But my number 7, if I was to describe this show in 2 words. It stinks.
Oh!
The Critic.
Yes.
The Critic, it ran from 94 to 95. Now, this has an interesting history. It ran for 2 seasons, 3 if you want to get technical. It ran for like a 13 episode or 10 episodes or something like that. Don't quote me. On ABC.
Really? ABC?
Wasn't it ABC? I wish I should have fact-checked this.
I thought it was on Fox with Simpsons.
No. It ran for like a full season of like 10 episodes, and then it got canceled. And then Fox picked it up. And then it ran for like 10 more episodes on Fox. In fact, the whole time it was playing on Fox, they were always joking about how the fact it got canceled from ABC. And if you look at the difference in animation...
That's funny. Fox making fun of something that got canceled on another...
Right, yeah. If he changed, his eyes got a little bigger. The animation changed. Like, if you were flipping channels and you were watching 2 seconds of it, you could tell if it was ABC or if it was Fox.
Oh, okay.
There's for like big fans, there's a subtle... change in animation. For the most part, the humor stayed the same.
Is that the way? Like sometimes I see like kind of squintier.
He's got the littler eyes on ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when Fox took him, they even did a crossover with the Simpsons. An early crossover. And remember, there was even an episode in the Simpsons where they say something like, "I think I know you" or something. He goes, "Oh yeah, I used to have a show on ABC for about a week." Like he made a joke about the fact that ABC canned him, and then Fox eventually canned him too. And then years later, it got picked up for like 10 webisodes. They're on YouTube. I watched them once all the way through. They're very short. They're like 5 minutes each. Yeah. And the animation's a little clunky. It's just cool to see more Critic. But the Critic itself, was very funny. It had this fast energy that I think Family Guy. I think it's the predecessor to Family Guy. Family Guy took a lot of the. People always say Family Guy was a ripoff of The Simpsons, which it kind of is, but I think it took a lot of the cutaways they do. Critic had a lot of like just cutaways. Like Jay would just say something offhand, and they cut to it, do like 5 seconds of that joke, and cut right back to the show. It was really funny. Tons of parody, tons of movie. As a movie fan, that show is just. I mean, they were always making fun of movies.
I always said if you're going to be a cartoon character, Jay Sherman is you.
And John Lovitz was great in it. Yeah. He gets a lot of flack these days for being sort of a has-been or B actor, but he'll always have SNL and The Critic. I think he should be proud of The Critic. It was a hilarious show. It got syndicated on Comedy Central a lot in I think the late 90s, early 2000s, and that's when I started revisiting them a lot. But they were funny, and they had the kind of jokes that when you're a little kid they go over your head, and as you get older you start getting them. So it's like you start to appreciate this over the course of years, and then next thing you know, you're in your late teens, early 20s, and you're like, oh my god, I just got that joke because I finally saw that movie or whatever recently. And just it's a great show. If you're a fan of, like I said, you didn't include too many prime times.
I wanted to keep it strictly like daytime.
But I just could not talk about The Critic, especially because it doesn't get any love anymore. It's not syndicated. Like I said, it ran very briefly, like 20 episodes or something, if that. And it's worth buying because it's just it's a you could just buy the quick complete set for not a lot of money.
I just remember the intro outro. I especially love the outro with him sitting in the movie theater. And,
like every episode where he has his girlfriend. That was on Fox. Okay. She was introduced in the pilot episode of the Fox series because I guess they thought he needed a romantic lead or a girl or something like that. But if he doesn't have a girlfriend, it's on ABC.
Well, the joke was like the usher would be sweeping or be going around. It's like in a little squeaky.
Sir, you have to go, and he would say like, "I'm stuck to my seat," or "I have nowhere to go," or whatever. But then they started adding her to the post-credit scene. Is what I'm saying. That's how you could tell if it was ABC or Fox. Little rule of thumb.
It's a fun little show, though. Definitely,
that's a great little show.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my number 7. Was The Critic.
All right, so
definitely worth seeing.
All right, so my number 7 on the countdown is going to be Spider-Man.
90s Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ran from 94 to 98 on Fox.
98?
Yeah.
It ran that long?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
4 years, yeah. Well, 98, I mean, we were graduating high school. We didn't have time to...
But I didn't realize it lasted that long. I'm surprised because did I call it out earlier? I think I did when I was comparing X-Men to 90s Spider-Man.
No, we compared it to it.
Oh, didn't I? Okay. Anyways. So, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, the thing is, you notice I didn't pick X-Men yet. So it's still alright.
Okay.
But for everything that X-Men did for that franchise in the 90s for that cartoon, I think this cartoon helped this franchise.
See, that's kind of why I didn't put it in mine, because it's like we're almost gonna say the same things about X-Men that we did about Spider-Man.
Yeah. Is this on your list?
It's not, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know what's funny? I think Spider-Man at the time was like my comic. It was like the thing I was heavily into. So the way I was saying I was being nerdy about X-Men, like that's not how it happened. I was sort of being the same thing about Spider-Man too.
No, it's funny because you pushed up your glasses like
as I said that.
like a nerdy way, like dude. Okay, one of these days we're gonna start a video podcast, and you're not gonna do. I know you're not gonna do. You're just gonna freeze up. You're not gonna do anything.
No, I'm probably gonna milk it even more. I'm gonna come in with tape on my glasses just to make it look that much more when I do it.
All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I remember this cartoon. Didn't Aerosmith? Didn't they do the theme song? Not Aerosmith.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
I think of something totally different. No. I'm thinking of this one episode where he got the Venom suit. And he learned he could create clothing. And he's like, hey, how about this? He goes, how about something more Aerosmith?
Oh, yes.
And he creates, or something more stupid. That's what I was thinking. Like, why am I thinking of Aerosmith when I think of this cartoon? I thought maybe they did the theme song. No, it was because of that one joke when they got the Venom suit. Did they do a Secret Wars?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say about X-Men did the Phoenix Saga. At least this did Secret Wars.
Yeah, they did Secret Wars, and
Is that where he got the Venom suit? No, he didn't.
No, that's what pissed me off.
Yeah, so they did Secret Wars, but they fucked up Venom Origin.
Yeah, and this was here's the thing. When we're looking at 90s cartoons compared to like say nowadays, when Marvel pretty much they have their own studios, so they can do whatever they want on their animated shows and their movies. This was back in the day when if it wasn't like if it involved other characters, they didn't bring him into like if they were doing a big storyline like Secret Wars, they typically didn't bring in like outside characters that were from the comics. For example, in X-Men, there was an episode where they referenced like Ghost Rider and things like that, or that was kind of a big deal because that wasn't an X-Men character and they actually brought him in.
In an X-Men episode?
It was like it was a cameo. It wasn't like a big thing. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like they would do like one-off appearances from non-main characters onto the show. And I think for the time that was kind of a big deal. But for Secret Wars,
I remember that being a huge deal because they brought in like it was like an all-star.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Spider-Man was given a chance to recruit a superhero team.
Yeah.
So he brought in, he goes Storm from the X-Men and Captain America, and he was bringing in like a lot of people who were... And in fact, X-Men had a crossover.
Yeah, it was with Beast. In that, well, it was... what was it called?
It was the whole team. Because it was like some big monster, and I remember he has like a scene with Beast where Spider-Man comes up with something scientific, and, Beast is like, "Oh, apparently there's a scientific mind brewing behind that mask." He's like, "Hey, it takes one to know one, Blue Boy," because Spider-Man was funny in that cartoon, which I liked. They captured the funny Spider-Man.
Right, yeah.
They did a good job. Actually, you know what? It was actually a really good portrayal of Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was
in that cartoon. I don't know why I'm hating on it.
I've never really heard you hit on it before. I don't know why you're doing it now.
It was a good cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a good cartoon. Shit. You know what? I'd like to go back and watch. Maybe it's because, like what I was saying, I think I was starting to get out of cartoons at the time. When did it air again?
94.
94? Okay, yeah. I think I was
and
to 98.
The only thing that I would say bad about it was I don't think... Well, first of all, let me back up for a second. I do love the fact that every... I don't want to say season, but it had like a chapter. Like it would say like chapter 1 and this.
Yeah, you're right. Like
the whole seasons were like that, right?
It was like everything was like 3 or 4 parters. Or
yeah. So I did like that, and I thought it brought more continuity to.
Let
the
me
show.
ask you this though: did you like it more than Spectacular Spider-Man?
Ooh,
which aired in the early 2000s.
2000s, probably mid 2000s. Yeah. God, that's a tough one. Spectacular Spider-Man.
I think they have better writing.
Yeah. Man, that was such a good show.
Yeah. Did you like 90s Spider-Man more than Ultimate Spider-Man, which is maybe even still going on?
It's still going on. Again, that's a tough one because it's weird. No, because look.
Is there a bad Spider-Man cartoon?
Yes, the MTV one.
Oh, with MPH?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
the first
that
one that popped in my head. Yeah,
you're right. Damn. All right, you got me there. Fine.
Ultimate Spider-Man, it's okay. In small doses, it's good, but if you try to like binge watch it, the humor gets on your nerves like, really fast. But it's kind of hard to compare the '90s cartoon to the current ones because, like I said before, they have more free reign to be more cohesive, and the cartoons in general have gotten more sophisticated, I think, over the years.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to play to wider audiences, not just, like I said, not just kids, but adults and kids and everybody else in between. Whereas the early '90s ones, early Spider-Man and X-Men.
I think nowadays with the cartoons and everything, we're part of a nerd nation, pretty much. There's more that pop culture.
Nerds are in.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's what I tell myself every morning.
Me too. I have to. Yeah, I have to. Trust me, I have to. But back in the '90s, it wasn't really that. It was just you had cartoons to sell toys.
Yeah,
pretty much. And if you wanted to tell a good story in there, more power to you. But and I think the one bad thing I was going to say earlier was the animation. I don't think really holds up.
Thank you. I think that's what I couldn't put my. I think that's why as a kid it was hard to embrace because. The animation and maybe a little bit of the design. I didn't like. Sounds like I'm nitpicking. I didn't like Peter's floppy hairstyle. I didn't like Mary Jane's bangs. I'm getting really nitpicky. But the designs of the characters and
like they try to do a weird like CG thing or something or cross animation and like
when he was like whip slinging.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be like fluid, but it looked like slow. Like it didn't. I don't know what it was about it, but I don't know if it really holds up over the years.
Something about the design of the character design. Peter he didn't look like he was in college. He looked like he was 37 with his floppy hairstyle.
And I think, especially when it came to the toys aspect of it, they tried to do a whole lot of I don't know, and maybe this is me nitpicking it, but like more armor stuff. Like they tried to like do everything 90s, and they were trying to redesign, and like Doc Ock had like armor instead of like a costume, and
In the toys?
in the cartoon also. I think. Did he have like an actual like suit? I don't know.
Maybe in the later episodes.
Yeah.
I don't remember in the later ones. Because I remember in the later ones they would introduce like Carnage and stuff. And I was always like, but I never saw any of these. So I must have tuned out like halfway through or something.
Later on after that, after this show, you said was there a bad Spider-Man cartoon? Yes, there was one. It was Spider-Man... what's the... Unlimited, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Spider-Man Unlimited, where he went to like another dimension, and he had a new costume.
I don't think I ever actually saw it. I just
was
knew of
bad.
it.
I watched a couple episodes of it. Venom and Carnage followed him into it, but they were like globs. They weren't even like...
What?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, less said the better.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay. But anyway, that was my number... number 7.
That was your number 7? So is it my number 6?
Yes, and you jumped the gun on the other one, yes.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, this is like I said, this is a work in progress. We're working the bugs out with the spiders.
I hope there you go. Yeah, I hope the fans and listeners of this, they appreciate the candidates of this. Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
We're not polished.
We're being upfront. Exactly. Yeah, we're a humble little. Okay. Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6.
There you go.
I don't know if you included it on your list. You might have. I'm not sure. Some people might not know it. You might not even know this one.
Say it.
It's an obscure little cartoon. Sorry. I guess you could tell I'm really milking it. It ran from 96 to 99 for 52 episodes. Is a little production called Beast Wars.
Oh, yes.
Do you know this?
Yes,
I'm follow this religiously?
I'm a little familiar with the show, yes.
I'm sorry, did I just rip off your number 1?
Not number 1, no.
Not number 1. Okay. Beast Wars. What? I mean, come on.
Beast Wars Transformers.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well,
you know what? You tell me why this
people
show...
just say Beast Wars, like, what's Beast Wars? It's Transformers, okay?
Yes. You know what? Then you tell me why this show is awesome.
Well, I was going to say that for higher from the list. Why'd you put that on your list?
Because it's an awesome show. I mean, what? I mean, what? It's a Transformers. We've talked about this a little bit before too. It chronologically it takes place like 300 years or something after what we know is Optimus and his Transformers.
Refer to the Generation 1.
Yeah, thank you. All right, yeah, you should fact check everything I say. And no, but it was not the first, but as a viewer, one of the first completely CGI cartoons.
Reboot, which was going to be an honorable mention. That's the first
reboot. Wasn't there like a Phantom cartoon that was CGI? 2040, something like that.
Was that all CGI?
I thought it was.
It might have been.
But I know it's not the first.
Yeah,
but it was one of the first. It was the first one I was
early technology into. CGI.
Yeah, and it's fun. The first season you look at, and it's a little in the context of season 3. It leaped ahead. You saw the progress of the technology.
Oh, definitely
within the 3 seasons or whatever that this was on.
I remember. Yeah, the first 4 seasons or first 4 episodes. Very plain backdrops, like you got some grass here and some dirt, mountains. Even by episode 4, you had shadows under the characters. And
the transformations even were a little clunky.
Yeah, and
very simple, just like 2 moves.
Yeah.
By season, by the end of it, it was like total almost.
Yeah,
and stuff
without
like
the
that.
sound, but yeah.
Unless it was Ravage.
Ooh, touche.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I don't know what to say about this that we haven't already said before.
Well, on the show, we haven't said anything on the show.
Didn't we talk about this in a little bit of
I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This episode, okay, if you don't even know what we're talking about,
episode 4, Pop Culture Rewind, it's our Transformer episode. Go check it out.
Okay, you were saying this was a show that personally I knew you were going to have it, and we watched this almost every episode together.
Yeah.
Does that sound weird? Huddled together in a love seat with popcorn, lights dimmed.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just kidding. Dimmer switches weren't invented.
Yeah.
We just turned the lights off.
Yeah.
No, but like it was like after school. Was this a Monday through Friday it aired?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like
because every day we would come home from school.
Yeah, I didn't have a car that year or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got your car, and
Well, I had a car, then I forget why I got fucked up or something, and I didn't have a car. So you were giving me a lift home, weren't you?
I don't know. Someone was giving
or did I give you a lift home, or did I?
Something like that. I don't know. We
I
drove
don't
each other.
remember.
I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes you drive, sometimes I would drive. I don't know. Whenever I had the car. Yeah. That's it. Anyway, we're getting off track.
When this show aired, we sort of started watching it and following it, and it was.
This was the first. First of all, this first Transformers show after, at that point, Generation 2, which was just replays of the original cartoon. There was no... It was just the first cartoon from the 80s. That was it. This was the first one that came out. It was new CGI technologies, brand new show. It was supposed to be all new characters, but they would reference events and characters from Generation 1.
Yeah. Starscream, and they would even show footage of like Optimus and Megatron and shit, which was at the time like a big Easter egg. Like, oh my god, there's a shot of Optimus.
Yeah,
there's a shot of Megatron. There's actual scenes from the first episode of Transformers redone and to look better.
And I'll just say this: season 2 that's my favorite season. There's only 3 seasons, but season 2 it culminates to a crescendo of just total.
Is that when they discover? Every time I watch, I've gone back and revisited this, but I binged the whole thing, usually on Netflix or the VHSs that you made me copies for when we were in high school. So as far as like season finale, season premiere, it all kind of bleeds together into one long saga, and that's why I like this cartoon. It's because it's one complete saga. It even ends on a finite note.
I think I even know why it might bleed in together, because I remember I made you those tapes. I even cut out like the intros and the outros, so like the episodes would just
probably.
The episodes would literally just kind of bleed into each other.
It was just like one long flowing story over the course of like 3 seasons. I think it ran for
26, 13.
eps.
Yeah, it was 26, 13, and 13. I think.
Now, is that just Beast Wars that they're talking about when they say 52 eps? Because do we have to mention
Beast Machines?
The Revolution?
No.
It's Beast Machines. No.
Although that is 90s, we could talk about it. I don't want to.
This had a sequel series. Was it considered part of this series?
Beast Machines?
Mm-hmm.
That was a sequel to the show.
So it's not technically Beast Wars.
No.
So we don't have to talk about it.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
No.
Okay.
but if you're gonna watch,
forget Beast Machines. If I had that little Men in Black, forget the last minute we were talking about Beast Machines.
I kind of want to say you can just go out, pick up season 2, and watch that. But if you really want to enjoy it,
no, start from the beginning.
Yeah,
I was about to say, you gotta learn about Energon interference, and you gotta learn Pterosaur and Scorponok. I'm second in command. You gotta learn all the great catchphrases from the first season. All that stuff. It's just fun. It's got a great continuity to it. I mean, like referencing what happened before and things change. Characters die. Oh my god, do characters like gets you right here, man. When certain characters are like, holy shit, they just killed a main. This was fucking Game of Thrones level killing people.
because it wasn't just carelessness, or it wasn't just we just killed him off. No, it was a whole episode dedicated to what this character is going to do before he dies.
Yeah, with a build up
or she,
and
or whatever.
ramifications.
No spoilers.
Ramifications to it. Yeah, it was very well done how they handled it too. They didn't just like he fell down dead. We don't talk about him anymore. Yeah, no, you felt his loss, his absence, things like that. It's a great show. Very funny. Occasionally, kind of a winking meta humor joke every once in a while.
I'll say it. The interactions between Rat Trap and Dinobot.
Great. That was great. Sort of a buddy cop sort of feel, sort of a Riggs and Murtaugh thing.
Once they figured out they had something with that, and they started playing the two off of each other. Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Vermin and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Great cartoon though. Yes. I saw what you did there. All right. Well, Beast Wars was my number 6.
All right.
What are you up to now?
My number 6. Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, I had at number 5. That was my next one. So you
so close.
jumped
So
the gun on
close.
that one. Okay. All right. So apparently it's time for Animaniacs. These guys are zany to the max.
There you go.
So let's just sit back and relax, and you guys will laugh until you. Well,
No,
I was gonna say laugh till collapse, but I didn't want to throw down that gauntlet.
Oh
Hopefully
man,
you'll enjoy it.
Animaniacs.
Hopefully you'll kill some time until you collapse.
There you go. Okay.
God, we can do a whole episode about this.
Well, it ran for 5 years, 93 to 98. So, yeah, just to,
91 episodes.
that is actually one of the series I actually want to own on DVD because they did go back and they just released that as a full set, and that's something that I could see myself going back and watching because that is a show where it definitely looks like it's for kids, but actually you're watching it and there's some humor in there that kids aren't gonna get. But you're,
yeah. That like I said, that formula playing for kids and adults at the same time, and Tiny Toons also played with that a little bit. Tiny Toons started that little bit of formula too. Mm-hmm. But Animaniacs, yeah, they had that too. Now, when you say Animaniacs, are you talking like what did you love most about the Animaniacs? Did you love the Animaniacs, by which I mean the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot? Who was your favorite? Because this was like a variety show.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't just.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it was a variety show.
Yeah, it had a lot of little characters. Some who almost never interacted with other characters.
Yeah, there was. Jeez.
In addition to anime, I love the Good Feathers.
The Good Feathers, yeah.
Because I felt cool that I understood the metaphor of Goodfellas and the God Pigeon, who was the Godfather, and their turf was a statue of Martin Scorsese, like in Central Park. There was like tons of mafia movie metaphors going on, and I felt cool that I understood them.
And again, not all the kids are going to know that humor. So when you go back watch it later,
yeah, I'm sure. I remember I was telling other of my friends like, "Oh, you don't get that joke." Well, you obviously haven't seen Goodfellas. I'm cooler than you.
And then there was, of course, Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain. That's probably most people's favorite ones.
I would say most popular. Got its own show. I mean,
was it like a spinoff or something?
Yeah.
Almost, right? Yeah, Pinky and the Brain, the Goodfellas. Okay, who else was there? Okay, Good Feathers, Fight Together, Slappy Squirrel. That's the easiest way to run through the characters.
Dr. Scratch and Sniff.
He wasn't in the theme song, but he was usually part of the extension of the Warner Brothers, along with Hello Nurse. Oh, Hello Nurse.
Hello Nurse, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. There was a few, I gotta admit, that I was never crazy about. Whenever I'd see one of them come on, I'd be like, "Oh, it's one of these cartoons. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and make some pizza pockets or something, pizza rolls." Because I was a kid.
Right.
Those hippos. There was like some dancing hippos, wasn't it? They sang opera.
Oh yeah! Oh god, I forgot.
See, you've been blanked over. And there was like Buttons and Mindy, the little girl who always got in trouble, and her dog always had to bail her out.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I was never crazy about those ones either. But yeah, Slappy Squirrel, and then her nephew Skippy. She was funny because she was supposed to be like a contemporary of the old Warner Brothers. Like apparently she worked with Bugs and Daffy and all that. And now she was like a retired crotchety.
That's right. Yes.
She was like a retired crotchety cartoon star. She had like a really enthusiastic nephew and all that. And so he was kind of cute and funny. And Slappy was funny. God, what other ones were there?
I just remember some of the bits itself. The Nation song where they're going off naming all the countries.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama. Yeah, Mr.
Okay, I was gonna
no. Rob Paulson, who voiced Yakko, right?
Yes, yeah.
Will, on request, great guy, will still do that.
Yeah.
YouTube it, you'll probably get like multiple hits of him. We saw him do that at a con once.
It was freaking amazing.
It was awesome, dude. He still knows that thing word for word, beat for beat. He'll say, and he's so cool about it.
Yeah.
You gotta imagine he probably could get old, but he recognized people love that.
Well, apparently, from what I remember hearing stories about, was whenever they first recorded it, he got it on the first take.
Oh, he did.
That was all one take. He did that, like no screw ups or anything.
Wacko had another song. It was about, I think it was the Capitals.
I think so.
He did every
they,
capital with the state, and it had, I can't think of the song, like, it was that tune. What I can't even name that tune. But whatever, Wacko had his own sort of an educational version of that song. That one, I guess, Jess Harnell isn't as cool as Rob Paulson. He doesn't want to sing. He doesn't want to sing it for fans.
He probably doesn't know it.
Yeah, the Rob Paulson, that guy's a machine. But yeah, Animaniacs. Steven Spielberg, I heard, actually had like a lot of hands-on input.
Yeah.
To that show.
Maybe that's why they're able to get away with some of the humor that they did get away with.
Yeah, you can tell Steven Spielberg he can't do something,
right? All right, so that was
your number 6, right?
Yes, number 6. Yeah, that was
my number 5. What's your number 5? I kind of want to keep it even here.
All right, number 5.
You're gonna keep doing that the whole time.
You just not catching on to that? Yeah, okay. Conan the Adventurer.
Oh, that was gonna be an honorable mention to me.
Was it? Just an honorable mention, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'll explain why later.
Okay.
But I did want to add it. But like I said, I think I got a couple cheats because I went prime time and you didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
If it wasn't for that, that would have definitely made it in because it's hovering at number 11 on my list now.
Yeah, Conan the Adventurer. It was a unique series.
It was 65 episodes from 92 to 93. Very short.
Yeah, but what it was able to accomplish in the time frame that it was on was the pilot started with a plot.
Yeah.
And that plot literally went
up until the final episode.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember what the plot was in the first episode, don't worry, because they'll recap it for you in every single theme song.
Yes.
That was back in the day when the theme song would basically give you the plot of the series. Where in this case, it was important because it was the ongoing.
You kind of have to know why he's fighting, what he's doing,
what his goal is to rescue his family from the curse of Living Stone.
But interesting enough, the villain of the show, Serpentor.
I made a note to make that joke. I was gonna make a Serpentor Rathalon joke.
Rathamon.
Yeah. The cruel wizard Rathalon.
Rathamon.
Yes. That's what I said.
Yes. And then, well, the thing is, throughout his quest of curing his parents, Rathamon was creating these...
Rathamon.
Whatever. He was building these pyramids.
That's what you said.
He was building pyramids.
He needed 3 of them?
7, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's 7. They each had to have star metal.
Yes.
Okay, star metal is just a thing in this show. Apparently, they come down in comets.
Yeah.
And you can
forge weapons out of them.
Yeah, there you go. Weapons or whatever. And Rathalon, Mon. What do I keep saying?
I have no idea what
he keeps. He needs to forge these discs.
Yes, for the pyramids.
And it's also the only weapon that Conan and his buddies can use to defeat the Serpent Man.
Yeah.
So this is a major plot device. Mm-hmm. It's a constant plot of both sides trying to acquire star metals. So you're never hurting for a plot. If we don't have any plot for this episode, just throw some star metal into it to fight over it.
Yeah.
And that would be the plot of the episode.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm oversimplifying it though. This show did a good job at creating an intricate plot.
And then plus the ensemble cast, I guess if you want to call it.
Yes. Yeah.
His
very Conan-y.
Yeah, really. I mean, he had his own team, and then you would never know like who he would have with him for an adventure.
He had like 4 or 5 supporting people who would join him on his quest every now and then.
You're hoping for Jasmine.
I was always hoping for Mesmira.
Yes,
to be the villain.
Yes,
she was like the secondary villain. It was almost always Rathamon, like 90% of the time, but 10% of the time you might get a.
But Mesmira she had her own agendas. I think it wasn't always.
Yeah. But yeah, Mesmira. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it was just 2 seasons, right?
I know it ran for 2 years. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the seasons
was back when like seasons. Who knows how long they were.
Yeah. They. I mean, it went up to a finale. I mean, the whole show. It had a point. It had a purpose, and that was the 90s was a good hotbed for that. That's when it kind of kicked into high gear for instead of just having one-off episodes, freak of the week type of stuff. We finally saw actual stories being told in cartoons, and Conan is a really good example of that.
Yeah, like even Batman Beyond was just one off every week.
Yeah,
but whereas but Beast Wars also had that sort of chronology. But yeah, Conan was one of the first cartoons I remember as a kid that really introduced me to like an ongoing plot.
Now, my only nitpick to pick on this one is the animation doesn't hold up very well.
No, I haven't seen
it's got some pretty crude animation.
Like 3 or 4 years ago, I started DVRing these. They would come on the hub.
Yes,
and I started DVRing them, and then like 13 episodes in, they just stopped airing them. And I was like, motherfucker.
But then like a year later, then they started selling them. You can get them for like $10-$20 as the seasons on DVD. And I got the first season, and you can get the season 2, part 1 and part 2. So you have to buy it like that. But
I just remember these would come on before school.
Yes,
they would come on like at 6:30 in the morning or something. So I would manage to watch like the whole episode every day before school, and it became like a fun little ritual of getting dressed, watching Conan.
I'm glad I wasn't the one that did that.
No, and I started actually getting up earlier because I didn't like having to get dressed and brush my teeth while Conan was on.
Right.
So I would get up a little bit earlier so I can actually sit down and watch my fucking Conan.
We didn't have DVRs back then, alright, kids?
Yeah, exactly. I guess I could have VHS'd them. I should have. I would love to have these on VHS right now.
Right, clear copies of them. Yeah. Well, now you can get them on DVD, but still.
Yeah.
Back then,
I didn't know DVD was going to be invented.
Right. Yeah. No. So that was that was my number. What number? Number 6. That was number 5.
That was your number 5.
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to do the next number 4?
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll make it easy for you. My number 4. That was my Beast Wars. That you did Beast Wars already, right?
Oh yeah.
So that was my number. That was my number 4 was Beast Wars.
Oh, okay. I didn't get what you were doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your number 4. You only put Beast Wars number 4?
Oh, surprising, huh?
Wow. I'm wondering what you put at 1, 2, and 3.
One of them we already talked about, so.
Okay.
So you can probably narrow it down from there.
Okay. My number 4, and I guess for a fact you don't have this one on there because you eliminated Primetime, but it's King of the Hill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And again, how can you talk about nice cartoons even with that asterisk of not Primetime? King of the Hill is a great cartoon. It was like of all the primetime cartoons, if you want to lump them all together, from Simpsons and Family Guy and Critic and all that kind of stuff, it was the most like grounded in reality, and it had the most heart, the most emotion to it, while still being hilarious. But they never went for like crazy. Almost every plot this show did, you could arguably have in real life.
Yeah,
in a way, outside of just
it was the most down to earth.
Yeah, it was the most grounded in reality. And being that it took place in Texas, we particularly, they would make jokes about going to Whataburger and Luli's cafeteria as opposed to Lou. In fact, Luann, her last name was Platter. Her name was Luann Platter.
That's right.
Yeah, things like that. There was just always fun jokes about just Texas families. You're always like, oh, you always sort of felt like you were in the know. Like the rest of the country's not going to like that joke. That's a Texas joke right there. Mike Judge, did this coming off Beavis and Butthead. What can you say about this cartoon? Bobby Hill and Hank. You could tell Hank was always disappointed having Bobby for his son, but at the same time, he loved him all the same, was proud.
It
was just so much heart to this cartoon.
Dale, the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, and it didn't. The cast didn't blow up and go crazy with the amount of characters. It developed a nice round set of characters and stuck with just them, to where even tertiary characters toward the end of it started getting their own plot lines. It actually ran for quite a while, for 13 seasons.
And that surprises me because I didn't know it went that long.
Yeah, 159 episodes.
Oof.
That's an accomplishment. Actually, I when these shows first started airing, that's when I was still recording shows onto VHSs, and I still recorded them.
What's a VHS?
It's a video something system. I don't know. What does that stand for? Video home. What does VHS? I don't even know. And I still to this day have like 17 or something VH or something like that. VHS is sitting there.
We didn't have Wikipedia back in the day.
Yeah, I still have all my. That's probably why I don't own these on DVD, because I have 90 to 95% of them on VHS. So why pony up the cash when I can just pop them in? I think they're on Netflix anyways.
Are they still on Netflix? Yeah,
I don't know if they're still on Netflix, but I knew they were a few years ago.
Yeah.
But just Oh yeah. It's a really good show. That's my purse. I don't know you. Oh, I mean, just so many. I tell you what, man. Talking about this dangle. I mean, everybody knows King of the Hill. I think it's syndicated on.
I think even the theme song or the animation for the theme song has been parodied, and everybody knows what
Family
that
Guy
is.
has made fun of it. Simpsons has made fun of it. The four guys stand in the alley with a yup. All right, yeah.
We and our friends do that. We're standing around. We got nothing to say.
But yeah, King of the Hill. Like I said, it ran for so long. We can spend the whole episode talking about our favorite episodes, our favorite characters. Brittany Murphy as Luann. She was great. She was so funny. Uncle Hank, major babies. She just had so many great lines. Everything, all of them did. Everybody was just at the top of their game comedically. The voice actors and all this, all of them.
There's a realism to them.
Yeah, and even Mike Judge as Hank Hill. Well, he's just a good all American character.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's in one of those top characters, fictional characters of animation.
That's a good topic for another episode.
Just straight up characters.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah, oof, that would be hard though.
Yeah.
Some of these, like how do I put Bobby in front of Hank? Because I love Bobby. Anyway, yeah, okay. My number 4 with a propane tank was King of the Hill. Okay.
All right.
So Animaniacs was your number 4?
No,
Beast Wars was your number 4.
Beast Wars number 4.
Okay, what's your number 3? Because I know my number 3 ain't yours.
Okay, yeah, my number 3. It's gonna be easy. Oh, number 3. We already mentioned it before on the list. X-Men, the 90s cartoon X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Just rewind back to the earlier in the episode.
What did we not cover?
I think the reason I think all I was going to really say about it being number 3.
Wait, why did you put it so high?
That's what I was going to say. Is the reason it was number 3 on my list is because of what it did for the franchise, just for superheroes and comics in general. Like I said, for me, I was getting into comics right when that show was coming out, so I was kind of learning everything as it was kind of coming on. That's what got me into getting comics in the first place. So it's got a special place for me. But I think without X-Men's success, we wouldn't have the Spider-Man cartoon. We wouldn't have all those other ones like Iron Man and Fantastic Four. Silver Surfer, I think, was another one.
I think that was a cartoon.
Yeah. But yeah, I think because of the success of that one, we wouldn't have all those other ones. So.
Okay. No, I'll buy that. It did help pave a path for future comic book cartoons. Okay, so we both have 3 left, or was that your 3?
That was my number 3. So what's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3, and this is not a cheat. I mean, this was not prime time. La 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 la. Daria.
Okay.
And I'm almost like I wish I could put it higher. Almost.
Number 3.
I wish I could put it higher. Yeah, dude. But Daria kind of stands separate. Because this was kind of like King of the Hill. It was very grounded, in a way. It was like it aired from '97 to 2001 for 5 seasons.
Wow, I remember being that long
on MTV. Only 66 episodes. They weren't super long seasons. It was a spin-off of Beavis and Butthead, obviously, but in name only. The tone, the vibe, the humor,
totally different.
Yeah, totally
even animation,
totally different. And I didn't get into Daria until like its 4th season or something. Like right after I wish I had got into it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I wish I had Daria as like a role model for me in high school because she was so ostracized, but she was so confident and cool. She didn't care.
Yeah.
She knew. She knew. She got it. She had it figured out.
Yeah.
Already. And she was just so cool, so smart, so funny and sarcastic. And but by the end of it, I think I was in college. It was my freshman year of college that I got into it, and I was it did come on in the afternoon because I remember I had like a 1:00 class on the day it aired, and I had just enough time to like get out of class, stop by Wendy's, get a junior bacon cheeseburger, which was 99 cents at the time, get home, and literally just in time with my Wendy's watch the latest Daria for that like 5th season. By then I was getting super into it. It was really funny and really clever, and And again, kind of like King of the Hill, they spent the first couple seasons developing a nice core set of characters, but then rather than keep inflating them and inflating the cast, let's just focus on the established cast we had now. And they had the basic archetypes like the quarterback and the cheerleader and things like that.
It's high school, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had like the Heathers, the Mean Girls, which is the fashion club with Sandy and Stacy and Tiffany and Quinn and it was just, oh god, this. And then they had like two movies. They called them movies, but they were really just like hour and a half long episodes that MTV would air, commercial free, brought to you by whoever.
Okay, yeah. I honestly, I was never really into Daria.
Oh, so. And you were talking about it did like the first 3 seasons or 4 seasons were just in high school. It was she was in junior the whole year, and then after the 4th season they did like a movie which took place the summer before their senior year, and then season 5 was clearly their senior year because it was all chock full of college applications and we're getting ready to graduate.
Okay.
And then you got a real sense of timeline, and then the movie was them getting ready to graduate, applying for college, and the series ended with them graduating college, at her graduation, giving the speech, getting ready to go. And so it did have a finality to it. There was a time structure to it. There's a real sense of satisfaction when you see it end, more than most of the cartoons we've talked about, which were just kids cartoons.
So would you recommend this to teenagers or like juniors and seniors in high school nowadays?
Totally.
Or do you think they would still? Do you think it still carries over to this generation?
Well, this was such a good snapshot too of
the 90s.
Like, of that late night, and the music. Oh god, the music.
That was a big deal because trying to get that released on DVD, they couldn't do it for a long time, right?
It was so much like they would use just like 3 seconds of a pop hit just as a transition from one scene to another, just like dum 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 of a pop song. That was it. But they used it, so they couldn't get the rights. So yeah, this was it. They did eventually release it on DVD, but without any of the original music. They just came up with generic tunes.
Did you watch those with the generic music?
I've listened to it, and the episodes that I have a lot of these on VHS, a good chunk of them with the original music, which is why I don't buy them because I still have them on VHS with the original music. Yeah. And I know the episodes so well. I know the music. It's like, oh, that was supposed to be J-Lo's, If You Had My Love. Even though I hate that song, I just remember it had that music in it. But a very satisfying ending to a really great show. That God, I really wish I'd gotten into it sooner instead of after high school, because it's a great for anybody who ever felt like a misfit, alienated, any of that kind of stuff in high school. Yeah, it speaks to them. Dario is a great role model. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm saying it. So in that respect, that's why I put it so high, because it kind of holds a specific, more so than some of these other cartoons, because it's like really spoke to you. Okay. To a generation, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So Daria, that's why Daria Morgendorffer and Jane Lane, her best friend, who's equally awesome, is my number 3.
All right. Very well. So you know what that means. We're down to the final 2.
The final 2. Yes. And just by process of elimination, I got a feeling. Okay, well, who wants to say number 2?
Number 2. Gargoyles.
Dun, 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 dun. That was my number 2 also.
Yeah.
Number 2, of course it is. Dude, motherfucking gargoyles, dude. No, we were talking about. I was talking about Darkwing Duck, and I said this is why I lumped this one Disney afternoon. There was another Disney afternoon, but I don't lump this one with all the others.
You can't. It's a special.
Yeah,
case.
This one is a special case. And talk about continuity, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, continuity out the yin yang with this show, dude.
The first season, I think it was only 13 episodes in the first season, but
it ran for 3 seasons, 78 episodes total.
Yeah, so the second season was like 50 something episodes.
Yeah,
but there was such a good tale in that especially in that second season, and it is built up to the finale.
Great finale, and again, like character arcs. Characters grew and changed and things like that.
The villain changed.
But yeah. Dude, yeah, like, and you bought it. You didn't think it was a cheap ploy. No, you saw how he came full circle. They even say that in the show. We've come full circle.
That's how smart they were.
And the voice work in this show. Oh my
Keith
god,
David. Yeah.
I mean, not just like the core, like, you know, there's like 4 Star Trek alums also. If you're a fan of TNG, you got the
Jonathan
Frakes, Marina Sirtis, and then you also had Puck was Data. Brent Spiner as Puck,
yes.
and Michael Dorn as Coldstone, or Worf as Coldstone. Tons, and then just in general, they were adding, like, Tim Curry was in there and other characters. I mean, just tons of great voice actors.
Because it's Disney.
David Warner was the Archmage and all that kind of stuff. Just tons of great. This was one of the first shows that was like, holy shit! Like, I know who these actors are already. Not even through looking at the cast, but just listening to them, I was like, holy shit, that sounds like so and so. But yeah, and then. And then when the show ended on a pitch perfect note, where there was nothing left to say, there was no stories left to tell.
Yeah.
They said more and told more stories, and they called it the Goliath Chronicles.
Ugh.
And the less said about that, the better. The show limped along for another handful of episodes.
Yeah. I think 13 episodes.
Yeah, but if you just like trim that fat at the very end, it's a perfect series.
I equate that to Beast Machines and Beast Wars.
Yeah,
like it's a sequel to it, but don't watch it.
Yeah,
there's another one we didn't mention for Conan the Adventurer. There was Conan and the Young Warriors.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it came on. Yeah, like Conan the Adventurer ended so perfectly, and then like they brought it back. He had like he had a group of kids with him, and there was like, it's terrible.
This sounds awful.
Because it was. Nobody watched it. That's why I got canceled immediately after.
How long did it run?
Not
very long? Oh, God. Yeah. Conan and the Young Warriors?
Yeah.
That just sounds lame.
Yeah, it just sounds like, hey, kids. But yeah, anyway, Gargoyles. For the longest time, it was available. You can get it on DVD, season 1 by itself. And then season 2, part 1 was the only way you could actually get them on DVD. Now they finally release it as a Disney Store exclusive. Season 2, part 2. You can get that, so you can get the full series on DVD. I actually own them all on DVD now because of that.
In around 1999-ish, they would air them two a day on Toon Disney.
Yes, yeah.
And I recorded.
Did you?
And so I have the whole season on like 4 VHSs, and they're like rattling around in my closet somewhere. But I do have the whole series on VHS.
Yes,
mostly.
kids, he actually does still use VHS tapes.
Yeah, and I still watch them every once in a while.
We're not talking past tense here. He actually currently uses VHS tapes.
I still have 2 VCRs hooked up to my television as we speak.
There you go.
But yeah, I still have all my VHSs. So I'll probably, unless they release them in a complete, convenient whole series box set, I'm probably not going to go through the trouble of buying, chunks here and there.
Yeah,
but
I didn't buy the season 1 and the first part of season 2 until I found out I was able to get the last season or last part of the season. Once I found out I was able to do all that, then
maybe then I'll probably do that. Yeah. One of the things I always loved when I was younger was it felt there was a lot of parallels to Ninja Turtles, which I love. There were the Gargoyles and the Ninja Turtles, and then they had like that one human. Whereas April was kind of useless, they had Elisa Maza, who was like a great character too. Not only was she really hot, but she was like a strong character too. Yeah. She was a cop.
Yeah,
and this was very the romance.
Oh yeah,
of Goliath and Elisa.
That was kind of brave.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the word for it.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, but they didn't just. I mean, they explicitly. I mean, they hinted at it for a long time, but then they came out and explicitly said it, and it culminated in what would have been a great ending to the series. Culminated with that romance and everything, and they fell in love, and it was great. It was very mature.
They would maturity. That's I think
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's the one word I would describe that show. Mm-hmm. There's an episode early on in the first season. The Gargoyles, they're still new to everything that's going on around them. They're not used to the world, and he's watching an old black and white movie,
a gangster movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Broadway.
Yes.
Okay. I know. I think I know where you're going with this.
And again, this is supposed to be a kids' cartoon, but he. As a kid would, he sees something on TV and he starts to mimic it, and he picks up her gun, and he just kind of is playing around with it, and it actually goes off and it shoots It shoots her. They actually shoot her on.
Yeah.
So gun safety was.
I remember this episode vaguely because it was the one episode that Toon Disney didn't air, so I don't have it on my VHSs, motherfuckers.
I do have it on DVD.
Yes, okay, but yeah, because they didn't air. Because even though the show makes a complete episode describing how dangerous that is, I guess they think kids are so stupid that they'll at the end of the episode, let's go play with guns.
Not only that, like a few episodes after that, she was on crutches.
Yeah, for like 3 or 4 episodes.
It took her a while to heal
because it was a crazy continuity to it, and that's why there was like Broadway. They had their villains in Xanatos. But even the trio, as they called him, his 3 main gargoyle lieutenants, like Lexington, particularly hated the Pack.
Yeah,
because they they tricked him and stuff. And Brooklyn particularly hated Demona because she tricked him into. And then Broadway particularly hated Tony Dracon, who was like a gang. There wasn't just like one villain versus gargoyles. Like there was layers to these characters.
Yeah, they had reasonings behind their feuds.
Exactly, totally. And then they brought in Angela, and then all the gargoyles had a crush, and then she ended up choosing one of them, and then that begat a new romance and a relationship in the show with Broadway.
Did it?
Goliath, yeah. Broadway and Angela became a thing. All 3 of them were vying for what?
Well, I remember
I own them on VHS. I think I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Hotshot over
This is
here.
before we established that Lexington was actually gay the whole time.
Dude, what?
Lexington turned out, the writers of the show said if they had, gotten to continue the story, they would have explored Lexington was actually gay.
Well, I'm glad we didn't.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Why not?
For what? Why? I mean, what's the purpose of
Because you know what? Just like it or not, gay gargoyles exist. I don't know. I thought it was. I guess when I read it, it sounded interesting. Maybe it doesn't serve any purpose at all. But I thought it was brave. What? I can't use that word.
No, you can't.
Not anymore. Okay, but gargoyles. Dude. Did you like that whole chunk of the series where Goliath and Bronx and Elisa were in that boat?
Yes.
And it was like every week they were in a new part of the world with the new characters, new adventures, and all that kind of stuff.
Like you really got a sense of it. Wasn't just the gargoyles as the main cast. Like there's gargoyles everywhere, pretty much. But
yeah, they and then they started traveling in time, and maybe it's starting to sound like it jumped the shark, but it really didn't.
Oh no, it made perfect sense.
They even have this like a Days of Future Past kind of episode.
Yeah.
The best way. God, that was like maybe the awesomest episode in the whole series.
See, we can be going on and on about
Gargoyles was just a totally awesome. Now this is a show I can totally see being rebooted. Be it as a cartoon or as a movie or a live action series or something, because like you said, it was mature. I would love.
There's rumors. It's
or
always
even a comic or anything.
Yeah, it was a comic actually.
Yeah.
It went out, and I actually have that. But as far as TV, cartoons, whatever, there's been rumors and hoaxes and things like that about it being being made as a live action movie.
Because I can tell the themes that they touched on, they can explore them deeper and further in more adult ways and all that.
Yeah,
and I would love to see this explored in a more mature fashion.
But at the same time, though, I kind of like it as its own little thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, sure,
because honestly,
there's potential here.
There's potential if they kept the tone in the story and everything right the way it was. If they try to redo the whole thing, I would be so. Against, but I'd be nitpicking like every single thing.
I do hold that property precious.
I do.
I just think there's so much potential to it that because it was a kids cartoon, and granted, like I said, it was pushing the boundaries of what a kids cartoon should be.
And it was Disney.
But if it wasn't Disney, and if it wasn't for kids, and you could explore these themes in a more mature way, the romance aspects, and then they're hunted kind of like X-Men, they're protecting the city even though everybody hates them, kind of a thing. X-Men has managed to explore those themes in a mature way with the films. I think. Well,
they did I think no, because I think Disney did everything they could have done and still told all the aspects that you were just talking about. I mean, there was some.
I guess I don't know. I guess I just want to see more gargoyles.
Yeah, you don't need a reason for it. Yeah, just say you want more gargoyles.
I want more gargoyles. Damn it! It was a great cartoon, and I don't want to say I'm sad that it ended because it's one of the most satisfying endings. That and Daria, Most of the cartoons we talked about just sort of fizzled away.
Yeah, there wasn't
Wars, maybe if you end Beast Wars is where Beast Wars ended.
Yeah.
But very few cartoons, or even Conan, had real endings where it wasn't just like the studio pulled the plug. It was where the writers finished it, and we're done.
Yeah,
yeah. And Gargoyles had a really good one. Okay, that was our
number two.
You know what? Just say the number one.
Oh, you mean the number one?
Yes.
The number one would be...
The number one cartoon of the 90s
is Batman the Animated Series.
Was there ever any doubt?
No.
There wasn't. And I knew that we would have overlap, and I figured this...
top two.
I figured one of these two would be... But even then, I kind of knew Batman would be number one.
Yeah.
It's a perfect cartoon. 92 to 95... 85 episodes. This is a good running series.
Even from that's 92-95 for the first half of it.
Well, yeah, okay.
What do you think? Because
we talked about Batman Beyond, and then it. Well, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the animation kind of shifted after that. It went into
When I
more
think
of a darker.
Batman the Animated Series, it changed when it did that revamp. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this a little bit in an older episode too. What me and some other people call the Red Sky series.
Yeah.
Where everything, character design changed, things like that. And
Eyeless Joker.
They tied it into the Superman. Because the original Batman is the ones I love, the ones that I consider brilliant, seem to kind of take place in like a 40s time.
Right.
Old suits, black and white TVs.
The first 3 years,
cars,
1995. Yeah.
All that stuff. And those were, I think, had some great stories,
more timeless.
Again, great voice work, really adult themes. The title cards before the episodes when oh my god, those were like minimalistic art. Some of those, they were so simple, but they were always brilliant to look at. And then Superman, the animated series, came out, and they kind of they wanted to tie in Batman with it, so they kind of updated Batman and kind of made it exist in the same world.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I don't know. I don't think they changed it for the better.
No.
I
remember just from an artistic standpoint, I dug the the remix of it. The character designs, anyways.
The character designs is what you liked?
Yeah.
You liked the black people of Joker and Green.
I don't want to say it was better, but I didn't have an issue with it. Does that make sense? It was just I didn't turn it on and see it. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? I still watched it. I still enjoyed it for what it was.
I did. I don't know. I thought the original ones, they were just better. I mean, the introduction, they introduced most of the characters and they did them all in a really good. Victor Freeze, the character Mr. Freeze, what they did with it, is pretty much the modern day incarnation of what we understand to be Mr. Freeze. Even fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger portrayed him as the sort of a scientist with his wife kind of a thing. But that tragic that you almost rooting for him because you feel for him, things like that kind of a thing. They really played with sympathies a lot. Even Clayface at first, he was just you almost felt for him. Even that episode where the guy has that like aluminum foil he wraps around him to turn him invisible. He was like an invisible man kind of thing. And he had like this thing he wrapped around him, but he was all doing it to steal money so he could see his daughter. Things like that. They played with more adult themes like that. But the newer ones seem to play more just straightforward kid cartoons.
Yeah, Freak of the Week type stuff.
Yeah. But whereas the older ones, I think they dealt with more adult themes.
Oh yeah, and I am with you on that. Where
like Robin's Reckoning, where he was, things like that.
That was a really good two-parter episode.
Yeah, and in the newer ones, can you think of any of those episodes that had a really deep emotional hit to it? In the newer ones, they were fun visual, fun cartoons, but they didn't have those deeper themes that the older ones did.
Legends of the Dark Knight, I think that was
a fun cartoon. That was part of the newer ones. Yeah. That was a fun cartoon.
That was like one of the first ones
because it played with themes and stuff, but there was no emotional connection to any characters to it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, there was that because they played with the Dark Knight Returns aspect, and there was some meta humor. But with the gay kid who was supposed to be a metaphor for Joel Schumacher.
Was he? Yeah.
His name was Joel.
was
And there's a scene where he has a feather bow. Or Joel Schumacher's gay. So there's a scene where he has a feather bow, and he's talking about, I've heard the Batmobile can drive up walls. And he's, what happened to Batman Forever. And he's even standing in front of a store that says Shoemaker behind it.
Oh, really?
At the time he says that, I think. It's been a long time since I watched. So it's not some so subtle metaphors that they're representing.
Maybe I saw that before. I just forgot about it.
So that was a clever joke.
Yeah.
But did it hit home? Like, did you feel for any of those newer characters the way you did in the old ones?
No.
Even like that episode, the first time they introduced Baby Doll, where the little girl who was like, she never grows up.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And she's in the house of mirrors, and she's shooting the mirrors and everything like that, and she sees a reflection of herself looking like an actual person and all that. And she's shooting an empty gun. She's like, click, 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 and she's crying while she's shooting empty. I'm like, holy shit, that's some heavy. None of the newer ones, had any of those. I
don't know if this was a Batman episode or a Superman episode because the animation was so similar. But there was an episode where Superman had to come in and pose as Batman.
That was part of the newer ones, yeah.
Was that Was that Batman?
Yeah.
Okay, that was good. I like that one.
I mean, again, that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Because Brainiac had, taken control of Bruce.
Right.
I decided to treat myself to an impromptu vacation. We used to say that line a lot back then. Yeah, so that was cool to see Superman dressed up as Batman kicking Bane's ass.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool to see. But I don't know. That's one of the things I love about the old ones was the themes of it, the adult themes, and how you almost none of the villains were just straight up, twisting my mustache. I'm evil for the sake of evil.
Yeah. They
gave them real motivations, and sometimes motivations that you can almost understand and sympathize with.
Except for Joker.
Except for Joker, because he's just insane. He makes art until someone dies. He's just insane. Also, the show gave us Harley Quinn.
Yes,
it's worth mentioning.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, she made her debut in this show, and I loved her too. I remember. I think it was an episode, The Laughing Fish, which is one of my favorite early Joker episodes. Mm-hmm. And she had some good lines, and they meant for her to just be a one-off. No. It was called The Joker's Favor. It's where this guy, he's driving home all angry, and I think he was voiced by Ed Begley Jr. Again, great voice work.
Oh, there's a lot of good guests on that.
Yeah, Ron Perlman was Clayface, and tons of Richard Moss, Two-Face. Clayface, Two-Face. But Ed Begley Jr., he's this guy, and he's driving home, and he just cuts off somebody because in road rage, and he realizes he cuts off the Joker.
Yeah.
And the Joker follows him, and he takes his license, and he's like, I'm not going to kill you, but I will call in a favor one day. Years later, the Joker calls in his favor, and he asks him to basically help kill the whole police station of people. Because Joker's fucking insane. And it was all from the point of view almost of that one guy.
Just the fact for a cartoon to say, "Okay, I'm not going to kill you," but the fact that he would go to that measure as a villain in the cartoon,
and the guy's confessing to Batman, I had no choice. For years, he watched me like a bug in a jar. He called me his hobby and things like that. And that shows how insane the Joker is, and that's really cool.
Absolutely, man. And again, with same as Gargoyles and some of these other cartoons, we could be going on all night about this.
Yeah, it kind of turned into some of our favorite episodes and stuff, but that was a cool because we've already talked about this a lot.
Yeah. We don't have to explain what Batman. I hope I don't have to explain what Batman the Animated Series is.
Also, it gave Robin pants.
Yes, thank you. And it brought us Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes. Yeah. Again, we've already talked how brilliant that movie is.
Yeah. Real quick, that's our top 10 lists. That's mine. That's yours. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I was going to put Conan as an honorable mention.
Right.
Because of the reasons that I watched it early in the morning and it introduced me to continuity, but I kind of wanted to lump an extra one into it for the same reason I loved Conan, and that was Exo Squad.
God, that's one of my... That's one of your... That's an honorable mention. Son of a bitch.
They came on back to back, and in fact, I started having to get up a half hour earlier. But yeah, Exo Squad. I haven't had a chance to revisit this.
I can't find it anywhere. I have the first season on DVD.
I was gonna say, I thought
This is the first season. They won't release the second. So
from 93 and 94, 52 episodes. But I remember, again, I haven't watched this in years, but I remember there being some continuity.
That's why, there was some damn good continuity in this,
and a great premise.
Yeah.
The of we've engineered this race of superhumans to be a working class slaves basically, and they've kind of revolted, and now
Neo Sapiens,
and I guess they're running the show now.
Yeah,
And
they
the
revolted.
rebels.
There was a war.
Yeah,
And,
it was a big war, and now the rebels are humans,
Right.
And they wear these exoskeletons, whatever, and that's why it's called Exo Squad. And I think didn't like a main character die at a certain point? I think it was established for like a season or so, and then that character died. It was like a big deal.
I think so. Yeah.
Which at the time was like a big deal for a show like this.
But just the writing on it was very mature. It was a military action. I mean, but it was a morning cartoon for kids.
Yeah, it looks like something like James Cameron could have come up with or something. Yeah. Maybe it's the Exo Scoot. I'm thinking of Ripley. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Or Avatar. I'm thinking of. Yeah, he kind of had those Avatar suits, but they could fly in space and shoot.
That's kind of what it is. Avatar's the big exo suit that they had in Avatar.
Yeah.
That's definitely. And the only reason it was honorable mention for me and not out on my top 10 list was because I really can't remember how it ended.
Neither do I.
You know,
like I said, I've never gone back and given it a proper revisit. I just remember it just mostly all from being a kid, and because I watched Conan and Exo Squad literally back to back as a kid, and they both kind of achieved the same thing to me personally. I kind of lumped them together, and I didn't want to put one and not the other in the list. Yeah. So I kind of just left them both off and gave them both an honorable mention. Okay. But you said you had one more honorable mention.
Actually, I got a couple more. One, we mentioned the show a couple times in the list. So just by default, it needs to be an honorable mention. Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that was yes. I didn't want to put Dario without Beavis and Butthead because again, they're kind of say one without the other, and I think Dario was obviously just better.
Yeah,
but Butthead and Beavis.
Talking about inspiring a nation.
Yeah. Okay. Now when did that come out? Do you know? Because that came out like we were.
Maybe 91, 92, somewhere around there.
Was it that early?
Or maybe 93. It was 92 or 93.
Okay, another we talked about Mike Judge earlier with King of the Hill,
right?
But Beavis and Butthead came out. It had that kind of a stupid humor, but it was right at our age demographic. It appealed to us as 12, 13-year-olds.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Yeah, 93. March of 93. Yeah, so we were like 13 or something like that. So we was right there where we're gonna laugh at frog baseball.
Right.
Like diarrhea, cha-cha-cha. That was funny to us.
Right.
If it came out now and it was airing right now, do you think you'd like it?
No, and I tell you why. Because they did bring it back on MTV.
Oh my god, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched them, and it was bad. I don't know if this is because it wasn't as...
Was it that just you were older?
It definitely has something to do with it, I think. I'm older, so that humor... And then plus... Like, it wasn't anything new or fresh. It was like the same thing. They were just the same stupid kids walking around getting into stupid... Like, they were too stupid to be functioning humans.
Did they... Yeah, but they were still that way in 93. We loved it.
And that goes back to me being a little bit older now. You know?
Okay.
There was an episode back when we were kids, they forgot how to pee.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I remember
they
that.
They forgot how to pee, so yeah.
What the hell? Did you like the movie Beavis and Butthead Do America?
Yeah,
I like that. I think I was working in the theater when that one aired, and I would poke my head in and watch it and laugh. I was,
the fact that it got a movie tells you
it
that
still
it
appealed to me. Did the new series? Did they? Where they're watching music videos? Did they still do that?
Yeah, but it wasn't all music videos. It was like TV shows,
like watching
like
Road
reality
Rules or
shows.
something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to hear what they'd say about Road Rules.
No, it wasn't Road Rules. It was like present day shit that we were watching, like reality TV shows.
Oh, why would they pay to get rights from other shit?
No, it was from MTV because that's all MTV does now is just TV shows now. So it was like what was like 16 and Pregnant or what are those shows?
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, stuff like that you'd be watching. So it wasn't just music.
Mom.
Yeah,
I never seen either of those.
It was bad. That's why.
But I remember they released an album which I had on cassette.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
The Beavis and Butthead Experience, I believe it was called, with Cher, where they did the cover, and there was some good music on there from like Anthrax, Nirvana. Mm-hmm. That album is famous for having a Nirvana song. It's not available anywhere else.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Beavis and Butthead.
All right, what about you? You have another?
No, I just had Conan and Exo Squad.
All right,
as my honorable mention.
I have a couple more here. Tiny Toons, we mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
That's
Again, love Tiny Toons, but I didn't want to put Animaniacs and Tiny Toons.
That's exactly why I took mine off.
Mm-hmm.
But
because I think Tiny Toons kind of invented a formula, whereas Animaniacs perfected it.
There you go. Yeah.
But I love Tiny Toon Adventures, man.
Yeah, that's again. Man, you just you hit it right there. It was the humor it started there, and Animaniacs they kind of took it 10 levels more than that. Another honorable mention I have was Mighty Max.
I've never seen it.
Really? Oh,
what? Tell me about Mighty Max. Was that a video game?
No, it became a video game. They made a video game based on.
That's how I
show.
know it.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was a cartoon.
It was a toy. It was
School me.
Okay.
Because I literally I remember it being a video game. That's it. And it's not even a video game I ever played.
The cartoon is basically about Max, voiced by Rob Paulson.
Tell me more. now I'm intrigued.
Okay. But he's
it's called Mighty
Max. Yes. It's gonna sound stupid the way I say it. He's got a magical baseball cap that actually takes him to different dimensions and this and that. But going back to like Conan the Adventurer, where there was an actual continuity to it. But yeah, it wasn't just like one-off episodes every week. It was a story being told to a finale.
So like the other, it had a long ongoing story with a culmination of the story.
Yeah,
okay.
And the reason it's an honorable mention for me is because kind of like Exo Squad, I really can't remember exactly how it ended, but I remember I really enjoyed the show, like when it was first airing on TV.
It started first as a cartoon?
Yeah.
And then became a video game?
Yeah, because it was for the toys.
Okay. I think I remember the video game because I would go rent video games from like Blockbuster for my Sega or something like that.
What do you mean rent?
It's where you pay like $3 or $4 and you can keep it for a day or two and then you bring it back.
What?
I know. It sounds insane. And I would see Mighty Max at the rental for the video game, but that's all I remember. But I never even played it.
Yeah, the toys were... Do you remember... it was like the boys' version of... do you remember like Polly Pocket, where it was like really small?
Not really. I know of
it was like teeny tiny little toys that would go in this like little case you put in your pocket, but you'd open it up and there's like a whole like set piece, whatever, and you have like small little figures inside it. Anyway, Mighty Max was kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a new one on me. I didn't even know it was an actual cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It's okay, yeah. It aired from 93 to 94, but it was to promote the British Mighty Max toys outgrowth of Polly Pocket in 92. So hey, there you go. And it ran for a total of 40 episodes. So
you know what I want to mention? Not really like honorable mention, but just when I was talking about Disney Afternoon, I mentioned DuckTales, Tailspin, and Rescue Rangers. I want to add Gummy Bears, just that list. I just want to mention Gummy Bears. Because Rob Paulson was the voice of one of those gummy bears.
This one, right? Rob Paulson, Tony J, Richard Mole, Tim Curry, Frank Welker, Corey Burton. They all did voices for Mighty Max.
Wow. So. Do you remember Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates?
I remember it. I didn't really watch it that much, though.
Tim Curry was Captain Hook. That was an interesting that was an interesting cartoon. If I had followed it more closely... maybe I'd be talking about it now.
You know, now that we're mentioning Tim Curry, did you ever hear? Did you ever hear that originally on Batman, Joker was going to be voiced by Tim Curry, and he actually did originally the first 1 or 2 episodes that he did. It was actually recorded, but they're not released or anything, so you can't find him anywhere. But the studio execs said it was too scary as the Joker.
I can see that.
He was too scary as a Joker, so that's when they brought in Mark Hamill.
I can see that.
Which I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Because Mark Hamill as Joker, we didn't talk about that, but Mark Hamill as Joker, man, talk about owning a role. Jeez.
Yeah, he still does, like, not even just in in video games and.
He did. He actually retired from being Joker.
Oh, did he?
Unfortunately.
What else has he got going on?
Well, fortunately for him,
yeah. Oh, that's one of those lost roles of dialogue we'll never hear. Like Chris Farley as Shrek.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he apparently recorded like a shitload of Shrek and then either died or something like that. And then they brought in Mike Myers. Yeah. And he recorded the whole thing and then said, you know what, I'd rather do it with a Scottish accent. And then recorded it all again.
I found out about the Tim Curry thing at a convention I went to with Kevin Conroy doing a panel. and that's when he said that there was he heard Tim Curry as Joker, and it was just terrifying. I was like, damn, I want to hear that shit.
So,
holy crap! It's almost 2 hours into the show. Wow.
So, does it feel like it?
I know, right?
Do any of these do you have a desire all of a sudden to revisit anything we've talked about? Like, you know what? Now I want to, I kind of want to go back and visit Gargoyles again.
Well, I just did that on Gargoyles like 2 months ago, so I'm good on that one. But
and Darkwing. To be honest, a few months ago I downloaded the entire series, and I've been sitting on it for months, thinking, one day I'm going to give these a visit. Maybe that day is getting nigh.
I'm actually in the process of revisiting Conan, but I need the other DVDs to do that. Man, I've been waiting to go back and get the collector's edition of Batman the Animated Series.
I think my brother bought the whole that giant DVD
yeah,
set.
Yeah.
And I went and I dubbed them all onto VHSs. So I have 7. So I have all of Batman on VHSs, 7 tapes.
Very good. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I did go back a few months ago and I binged through Batman Beyond.
I have all of those on 3 VHSs. Justice League, 5 VHSs. Young Justice, 2 VHSs. I have a big video library. Yes.
But other than that, let's see. I wouldn't mind going back and seeing all of Tick.
Yeah, like I said, I meant to watch a few more of these before this episode. I only got a chance to see the pilot.
Actually, from your list, I wouldn't mind catching The Critic.
Yeah, they're really now those hold up.
I'm sure
they do, especially because like a lot of the cutaways and quick humor they do are just about movies, and movies to me, movies are timeless. A Silence of the Lamb joke or a Jurassic Park joke.
You're gonna get it.
It's not gonna age. It'll still be funny.
Yeah.
Particularly that Jurassic Park joke they did, where they lock a raptor into a closet, and the Jeff Goldblum guy like, you can't lock a raptor in a closet. It's too smart. And then you see like the raptor sticks a newspaper underneath the door, and he like hits the door so the key falls out, and he slides the newspaper back out, and then unlocks it from the inside. Like they're that smart. And then he comes out and starts smoking a pipe and speaking in an English accent, and but it's. It's a laugh, Mr. Pilkington. It's a funny gag. But yeah, the cutaways and the humor of Critic, and it does in itself have some heart also to it. He has a son and a sister and a family, and yeah, occasionally it does get like kind of sweet. And there's a great Siskel and Ebert. If you watch one episode of The Critic, watch the one with Siskel and Ebert, where they break up. And it's like a real breakup, and they're each like vying to get Jay to be his replacement, and Jay's like the rebound guy, and he's like crying, like I'm not Gene, I can't be Gene, and he runs away crying and all that. Great episode, yeah. Now I want to revisit.
Well, hopefully some of our listeners are wanting to revisit some of these.
Yeah, if anyone's still listening.
Yeah. But if there's anything that we missed out, please. We want y'all to chime in.
Yeah, we'd love to hear some feedback or any other thoughts or any omissions.
You can go to our Facebook page. Actually, on our Podbean website, popculturerewind.podbean.com. Click on the episode. There's a little comment section right under there. You can do that.
Or you can just text Travis. What's your number?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I need the attention. You can also email us, popculturerewind@gmail.com, facebook.com/popculturerewind. Also, you can send us a tweet at popculturerwnd. So, with all that being said, was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, this was fun.
Yeah,
I think the structuring, I think it worked out all right.
Oh, yeah.
It could have gone, it didn't go, it worked out. You were really sweating structuring this episode.
Yeah.
But I thank you for indulging me that I didn't, I wanted to keep it a big unveiling. I thought it would be, maybe it didn't work on behalf of the episode, maybe to the episode's detriment, but I had fun with the whole just you and me unveiling our choices against each other. So, thank you for that.
No. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
All right. So, as always, thank you again, Xavier. And always remember to pop your culture.
Yes. when I want to mention, I don't even know if it deserves. But do you remember fucking Bucky O'Hare?
Yes, because you'd always talk about Bucky O'Hare when we were in high school.
Did you? Oh shit! Hey, come on! I was kind of cool in high school. I didn't talk about Bucky O'Hare. I don't know why I liked this cartoon. I just remember in like '91.
Was it 91?
I don't know. I didn't do any research. It just kind of hit me.
Yeah.
I just remember liking it, and I remember the theme song. Like for some reason that I'll never forget it. Till I'll get Alzheimer's one day and forget my kids' names, but I'll remember the theme song. Bucky, Captain Bucky O'Hare. It was just like a space. It was kind of like Exo Squad. It was sort of a space. Only all the aliens were like anthropomorphic animals, like they were ducks and bunnies.
Yeah, it was in. Yeah, it was 91, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it lasted very long either because it wasn't very good. It was just, I think, what it is? I stumbled across like the first episode and I felt like I got it on the ground floor, so I followed it.
What's something love about a green rabbit?
And because nobody was talking about it, I felt like I was in on it, I guess. It was something like that. Like, if I caught it in reruns, I wouldn't have. I was like, what the fuck is this show? I wouldn't have given a shit. But because I stumbled across it at the right time.
What show I normally stumbled across was Biker Mice from Mars.
Biker Mice from Mars. That was a show that I watched in the mornings before school also.
SWAT Cats.
I remember SWAT Cat. Do you remember Dino Saucers?
That's 80s.
Oh, shit. But Biker Mice from Mars, like, again, I kind of felt like it had parallels like Gargoyles did to Ninja Turtles. They had like a human who was just
Gotcha.
Now, Biker Mice from Mars, I've seen the first half of almost every episode. I've never seen an episode as entirely because I always had to leave halfway to walk to school. So I've never actually seen an episode all the way through, but I've seen the first half of nearly the entire season.
Around that same time, I remember Toxic Crusaders.
Okay, there you go. That's one that I caught from the first episode before I had ever seen any of the Toxic Avengers movies. I caught the first episode of Toxic Crusaders, so I was like, okay, I guess I saw the first episode. I guess I'm committed to this now.
You watched Crusaders before the Avenger?
Yes.
Ooh,
I watched the cartoon first.
So what did you think of Avenger when you saw the...
It was fucked up,
yeah.
Man. I was like, what the hell? Where's all the cute shit? Why isn't the mop, Yeah. I did that one backwards.
Wow, okay.
But looking back now, it's like, it's who saw those movies and thought, let's make this a kid's cartoon?
I know, yeah. Fucking trauma, man.
That was crazy. Was that 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember what year, but...
We're the Toxic Crusaders. Oh, God. I just remember that first episode better than anything because I think I recorded it. And
I actually have the first pilot episode on DVD because it came with the box set of Talk to the Avengers.
Oh, okay, nice.
It was like a 5-parter thing, whatever, or something like that.
Wow.
Let's see. That came out in 91.
SWAT Cats. I don't remember the plot of that. There were just like cats who had like fighter jets.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty much.
SWAT Cats. So Dino Saucers was an 80s thing?
Yes. It was fucking amazing, but yeah, it was in the 80s.
Oh, I can't say I ever recalled watching it. I knew it was on, and
I love that show.
You love Dino Saucers?
As a kid.
Just the name.
Yeah.
Wait. Were they aliens?
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking flying saucers.
Right.
So they were aliens. They just happened to look like dinosaurs?
I believe so, yeah.
Did they, colonize Earth 65 million years, or 3, whatever?
I don't know, dude. It was a fucking cartoon in the
80s. Because I'm thinking, like, wow, this idea has all this potential. Like, what if they were the ones who colonized Earth hundreds of millions of years ago when dinosaurs were really like an alien race? And oh my god, this is amazing.
No, I didn't think
Tell me about Now my brain's running wild. Thinking about dinosaurs. I'm going to go to bed tonight. I'm going to write a Dinosaurs movie. I'm going to write a spec script for it tomorrow.
You joke, but, this is the time frame to be doing, taking up intellectual property and rebooting it to something else. So.
Yeah, this is a very nostalgic generation.
Yes, it is.
Or I hope it is. We spent the last 2 hours banking on the fact that it is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not banking, because, that implies you're getting paid.
Thanks.
Anyways,
All right.